Hi, and welcome to day 5 of Solitude. I hope that things are going well in your household. I hope that you've really been able to benefit from some of the ideas and strategies and perspectives that we've been able to give during these videos. And we just want to keep building on that. So just to review, what we talked about yesterday was really looking at things like using meditation, using this time to develop an ability to access a calmer mind state. We also talked some about mindfulness, how to be really connected with the present moment rather than worrying about the future or, living over and over again what's happened in the past and really cannot be changed at this point. We also touched on the idea of maybe keeping a gratitude journal or some kind of a journal that would sort of grab a hold of some of the best things that happened during your day. So I'm wishing that maybe that was something that connected with you and that you were able to utilize in a way that is making this time more beneficial. So today let's talk a little bit about locus of control. I don't know if you're familiar with this concept already. I usually spell it for people because locus, L-O-C-U-S, and locust, the bug, are spelled differently. So we're looking at the locus of control that you have. So if you have an internal locus of control, that means that you happen to life. So you go out into the world and you bring your mood, your interests, your perspective into that world. And an external locus of control means that you let the outside world define you, define your mood, define your anxiety level, define how you're, it really puts you in a state of reactivity, constant reactivity. And I think if you really look at how anxiety has escalated over the previous years, you'll see that the shift has really been to allowing a more external locus of control. So how do we look at changing a locus of control to be more internal, which is of course the more desirable direction to be in? We want to happen to life. So it starts really by looking at how do you process the information that comes at you. So if I have a strong center, if I know who I am, if I have a strong core identity, I know my values, then I can be in a space where this calm, clear center allows things that happen out here to kind of bounce off of me, meaning somebody else has an opinion or a thought about me, my behavior, my choices. I can recognize that that's driven by their reality. That's not really about me. That's truly about that person's perspective on life and who they are, how they've become who they are, how they've developed their different opinions or thoughts on things. I have no control over that. I don't have any control over what that person's thinking. So back to focusing on what you control, I don't control what they think, say, or do, only what I think, say, and do. So I want to do things that really build up and enhance my ability to be strong and clear and consistent in my identity and my values. When we think about this, when you really think about how things come at you, this 14-day period is a great chance to work on this because you're not going to have as much coming at you. This is your chance to really spend some time thinking about what are the core things that define my identity as a person. And if we're not clear about what those are, then be thinking about what do you see in other people? What are some of the key words you would want somebody else to use to describe you? Think about that, and then also think about what are your main primary values. When everything breaks away, these are the things that drive your decision making. We tend to make our decisions based on what our values are. So figuring out and being clear about these are like my 6 core values, and from that, I then make my decisions. This gives you a really strong center. This helps you to really be able to move into the world with confidence, coming in from a perspective that's solid, that's really based on, I know who I am, I know how I feel, and I can interact with the world. I can take feedback really well when I have a strong internal locus of control because it's a sorting process. I want the feedback, but it doesn't mean that it's absolutely truth and then I'm going to make changes as a result. It just gives me something to evaluate and work with. So what we look for when we get feedback are patterns. Have I gotten this feedback before? Have I gotten this feedback from somebody else? Is there a theme going here? And if there isn't, that's probably something that I'll want to take a look at. But really, when you start to feel an internal locus of control, you'll just notice everything is lighter. You just won't have that sense of, I need to guard myself, defend myself, protect my stance, my view, all these different things, because you'll know I've done the evaluation. I've really already looked at where I'm coming from. I know my intentions are good. I know my values are clear and strong. I have a good identity. And therefore, I don't need to be reacting off of all these external pieces, whether it's traffic or whether it's somebody being upset with you or it's somebody just having an opinion on something. I can take that and hold it so loosely because I know that I can do that internal self-assessment without being in a reactive state. So the last part of this is really just looking at, what do you put out there? So I think you can already figure out that from looking at your identity and looking at your values, that what you will put out, what you want to put out, is something that is well thought out and for the most part as positive as possible. You want to be somebody who's known for bringing joy into the world and insight and thoughtful responses and wisdom. And that comes from this place of really feeling clear about who you are. So think about that today. Use this day as an opportunity to kind of watch how you react to the things that you notice around you, how you assign meaning to that, how you process that and internalize it. And whenever possible, shift it to more of a, I'm moving into this space, and less of a, this space is happening to me. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I look forward to seeing you soon.